Ay, sak. Ay, siyamay.
Motherboard. The motherboard is the backbone that ties the computer's components together at one spot and allows them to talk to each other. Without it, none of the computer pieces such as the CPU, GPU, or hard drive could interact. Some are popular manufacturers of the motherboard: ASUS, AOpen, Intel, A-Bit, Gigabyte, Biostar, and MSI. The motherboard may be characterized by the form factor, refers to the motherboard's geometry, dimensions, arrangement, and electrical requirements. Advanced Technology Extended or ATX is the most common design of motherboard for desktop computers. Chipset is a circuit which is used to control the resources such as the bus interface with the processor, cache memory and RAM, expansion cards, and etc. It used to coordinate data transfer between the various components of the computer. The processor socket is a connector into which the processor is mounted. The basic input-output system or BIOS and complementary metal oxide semiconductor or CMOS and present on the motherboard. Components of motherboard: mouse and keyboard ports. There are two types of connectors. The oldest one is a special DIN connector, while the newest one is the mini DIN PS2 style connector. Many PCs use the PS2 style connectors for both keyboard and mouse, and the connectors are marked clearly for different usage. Universal Serial Bus. There are different devices which is used to connect with USB port, such as mouse, keyboards, scanners, cameras, and even printers. USB connector is used to connect computer motherboard and a peripheral device. Parallel port. Parallel port use more than one wire for sending or receiving multiple bits of data at once, while serial port uses only one wire. Parallel ports use a 25-pin female DB connector. CPU chip. CPU refers to a processor, the central processing unit, also called the microprocessor, performs all the tasks that take place inside the computer system. It is also known as brain of computer. RAM slots. RAM slots for attaching RAM on it. In general desktop, we can see 2 slots of RAM, but in server motherboard we can see 4 or plus slot of RAM. RAM comes in different size memory. Floppy disk controller. In old motherboard, the floppy drive connects to the computer via a 34-pin ribbon cable. One end of ribbon cable is connected to floppy drive, and other is connected to the motherboard. IDE controller. IDE, that is Integrated Drive Electronics, also called as ATA or Parallel ATA. IDE controller is responsible for controlling the hard drive. Today's computers no longer come with the IDE controller. PCI slot. Peripheral component interconnect is a local computer bus for connecting hardware to a computer. It supports all the functions of a processor bus. ISA slot. ISA stands for Industry Standard Architecture. It is the standard architecture of the expansion bus. It's connect modem and input devices. CMOS battery. CMOS is complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Is used to store BIOS setting in computer motherboard. CMOS battery also store date and time. AGP slot. The accelerated graphic ports or AGP is a high-speed point-to-point channel for attaching a video card to a computer system. If you have a modern motherboard, you will almost certainly notice a single connector that looks like a PCI slot, a passport for a graphics card. CPU slot. The processor socket, also called a CPU socket, is the connector on the motherboard that connect a CPU. Power supply. The power supply provides the necessary electrical power to make the computer system operate. The power supply takes standard 110 volts AC power and converts into positive negative 12 volt and positive negative 5 volt and 3.3 volt DC power. The power supply connector has 20 pins and the connector can go in only one direction. That's all. Thank you.